This is Devo to Go, quick devotionals for everyday life. You know, there are people that claim to be Christians, and you'll know whether someone really is by not what they say, but how they live. And there are people that want to tell you that they're following God, but if you read the Bible, you'll know, even in your own life. You know, the great litmus test is the book of James. James is going to tell you whether you truly are practicing Christianity. And I want to read this, and this is talking about living a life that is wise with the wisdom of the world rather than God's wisdom. And in chapter 3, we're going to start in verse 13, and it says, "If you are wise and understand God's ways, then prove it by living an honorable life." In other words, it's not about what you say, but what you do. Doing good works with humility that comes from wisdom. There are lots of people that'll sell you a ticket and tell you how great they are. But James says we want to see how you're living. And if you're talking about yourself all the time, you ain't really living it. And he says, but if you are bitterly jealous and there is selfish ambition in your heart, don't cover up the truth by boasting and lying. In other words, if you really are about you, don't try to sell that you're about other people, about the needy, about helping those that are less fortunate. Just be honest. You are about you. And we're going to watch how you live. And then he says, for jealousy and selfishness are not God's kind of wisdom. Such things are earthly. They're unspiritual, and they are even demonic. He says, for wherever there's jealousy and selfish ambition, there you will find disorder of every kind of evil. But the wisdom from above is first of all pure. It's also peace-loving, gentle at all times, and willing to yield to others. It's full of mercy and the fruit of good deeds, and it doesn't show favoritism, and it's always sincere. And those who are peacemakers will plant seeds of peace and will reap a harvestness of righteousness. I'm telling you right now, one of the biggest things that I see in church and in the world today are people that talk the talk, but don't walk the walk. One of the most beautiful things you'll ever see is someone who walks the walk and doesn't even need to talk. Which person are you? I'm often asking myself, which person am I? We don't want to sell the ticket trying to convince people like politicians on how good we are. We just want to do good because the goodness of God lives in and through us. Amen? God bless y'all.